Hi, this is Candy from CG Applique Patterns. In this video, we are tackling circles. There comes a time when a pattern will have circles, and I think circles are the number one hardest shape to do well. They're hard to trace and they're hard to cut out, and a circle has to be perfect or it's not a circle. So your templates that you're going to cut out for the circles in this pattern, which is the number 2 pattern in the beginner series. It has little circles, it has a medium circle, it has a big circle. We need to learn how to handle that. Everything else in the pattern was the instructions were handled in the videos previously. You're putting your leaves down, those are all put first. This big stem will cover all the leaves, raw ends, and then the flower is done. So I just wanted to let you know that. Okay, first is cutting out the templates. When you cut it out of your freezer paper pattern pieces, some of the circles are closer together, but that's okay. Don't try to cut them in a circle. Cut them in a square and dig right into the pencil or the markings, okay, the lines around it. Make it a square. See, if I miss it a little bit, I just go right in to get it. Okay, now this leaves just an arc, a small arc you can do in one clip. And you keep your template much more true than if you try to go all the way around it. If you're really good at cutting templates, go ahead and do it all the way around. But I just find it's more accurate to do it this way. And on the larger templates, excuse me, on the larger templates, remember to poke in with your little scissors or just any kind of poker. Just poke a little hole in there, and that's for cutting away the excess. Big templates are done the same way. Now you've got a smaller arc, or you can cut one more round, then you only have little nips. So whatever's more comfortable for you, the larger the template, the longer span you're going to have to cut. So, and if you see anything that you've left pointy or whatever, just trim it off. You just nip. So the template is as perfectly round as you can get. Now, templates for 1/2 inch or smaller circles need to be done on double 2 pieces, the double ply of freezer paper. And what I do is I just cut the template out from the freezer paper pattern piece that you printed. I would not try to draw these, but if you're tracing, and just cut another piece the same size, go to the iron, put the shiny sides together and iron it. So the shiny sides are in the middle. This gives more stabilization when you're turning the fabric around it. And these are cut the same way. You can follow your square if you cut it out in a square. Okay. There's my cut square. And these have tiny little arcs that you can just clip right away. And for some reason, I use my bigger scissors, my medium-sized scissors to do this, rather than the small ones. You may like the small ones, but I don't know, I just get a better feel from it. Okay, check your template. You can put it over a little bit. Get a few little nips here. Okay, it's a little tiny one. Okay, so just make it as perfect as you can. Now, with these little ones, you are not going to iron it to the fabric. You're going to glue it because these won't stick. Because we've put the shiny sides inside and they don't stick very well when they're doubled anyway. So we're going to put it in the middle of the fabric, stick it down, and I have a hot dry iron here, and I'm just going to give it a little press to set it. Okay, now this should not come up or get wimpy on you. All right, using my fabric scissors, and again, I'm using the larger kind. We are going to do the same thing, and we're going to cut a, in fact, let me start with the big one so you can actually see what I'm doing. We're going to cut about 1/8 of an inch in making our first square. Okay, you see that's all about 1/8 of an inch. And we are going to do second cuts around. Get those corners off. And we're going for an octagon. Or like I like to say, a lug nut. Okay, we're working on the lug nut. You want a scant 1/8 of an inch. You can go closer with these templates, but you'll end up with lug nut. You see it? Octagon. Okay. Then what we're going to do is each of these points on the octagon is your clip sign here. That's where you're going to go. That's when you're going to clip. Not up to the paper, not all the way up. And for this size circle, your clips should be about 1/2 inch apart. And they pretty much are. I mean, I'm letting my cutting do the telling me where to clip. Okay, on a smaller one, we'll follow this same clip sequence. And on the smaller ones, you definitely want to go a little skinny. You'll see here that these are definitely 1/8 of an inch, or maybe just a little bit less. Okay, we'll clip off all the sides, leaving that 1/8 inch. Okay, there you've got your lug nut. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. And on each point, you're going to clip in. And these clips help the fabric turn without folding over the templates, and it gives a very nice flat. It lays flat when you do it, and you don't get lumps all around the side. That's probably the problem with circles, is you do this and the fabric will fold over each other, and you've got this big hill going around. So we don't want to do that. Okay, and let me do the small one here too, just to show you. Same thing. You want to go even a little bit tighter. This does not have a whole lot of room for folded fabric, so you want to go, just make sure it will go over the edge. Don't cut right up to the template. Okay, and then we've got okay. See, I've got my squares or octagons here. Okay, I will start with this large one. Okay, and I have poked, before I even put it down, I did poke my holes. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'll mention it again. Okay, now when you're doing this for the first time, you probably don't want to put your glue all the way around because you're not going to be fast enough to get it done before it dries. I would start right where there's a clip. Okay, see, this is a clip, and start on the top clip and just fold that over. Okay, there's our first clip, this section here. Then go into the second one, fold it over. See how few, it's hard to see it, especially with, well, all of them are hard to see, but there's not so many folds there. We are eliminating the folds. If you sew, you know what I'm talking. If you've ever made clothes or those yo-yos, you'll know that the fabric bunches up in the middle when you make a circle. Okay, I'm just taking each section, and you see I'm just swiping it down, and it makes a really nice circle. Okay, here's the rest of them. Here we go. Then what you do is just iron a little bit, just to set those seams. And the next thing you would do is go to your little punchy hole here and cut the paper out. Leave a little bit on the edge. You can't do this with the little tiny ones. There's just no room to do that. So you leave the paper in all the way on those. Okay, and there is your circle. Okay, I'll do this one for you to show you. I've got my clips. This one I think I can make all in one. Okay, we're going to start at a clip. There's first clip. You see the template is getting a little wimpy out here. For some reason, it just does that on circles. It doesn't usually do it on anything else. I think it's just a long line of around the circle that makes it do that. But just be tougher than it is and hold your finger there and hold it still if it starts to disobey. Okay. Now when we do this on the little teeny ones, the freezer paper rebels. It does not like the tiny ones. That's why I have you use double ply. Okay. There we go. And then we iron and clip. And I'm going to do this little teeny one for you, just to show you it's possible. I don't think I've clipped this one yet. Okay, we got them clipped. Try to keep the glue more on the outside if you can, and not have so much on the middle. But again, we've kind of taken care of that because of the double ply. Okay, go to the first clip, and all you need is little teeny strokes. There we go. Now, if there is a bump or anything here, because these small ones are not easy, but you can always run your purple thing, your little tool here, just, you see which side I'm using? Just run it around and poke anything in that doesn't look right, that isn't round. Now, I've got to be honest with you, you will probably mess up several of these before the day is done. They'll collapse, you want to cut them right, they just didn't turn right, and you'll want to do more. And there's only so many on the template. But there is a tool that I use all the time. It's called a Draftsman's circle template, and there's all sorts, they have Draftsman's squares and triangles and all, but I use this circle one to actually create my circles. So if you want to, you've messed this one up, that's 17 or 18. All you need to do is take this circle template, and it's from 2 1/4 inches down to pencil point. And that's as tall as I go. It's 2 1/4. Yeah, this is 2 1/4. And you just place it on the circle until you see the inside line, the circle line. You don't want to go so big that the line is floating around in there. You want the line to fit, but you want to be able to see. See, you can see that black there. And just what I do, I put my finger in it, and you can circle away on the rest of your freezer. This is your template. You've got your rest of your freezer paper here. Make some new ones. I'm not pressing hard enough here. Make yourself some new circles, cut them out, and try again. All these circles were made from templates like this, and if you get one of these and the templates are off a scooch, don't worry about it. Just use the one you have. See, this one would be this, even though it's a partial, you might mess it up. And you can just draw your own circles. See, I'm not quite pressing down hard enough to get these to finish. On these two, again, make a whole circle. This is 1/4 inch cut here. This is going to go underneath another pattern piece. So even if you make a whole circle, you can still cut it off. Same with this one. This one you may not even need to cut off. But if you don't want that double edge that we have, where'd all my circles go? There they are. If you don't want the double edge to show, just cut it off, and you can probably just pull this out and clip it off if it's too much bulk. But it should be okay. See, this one isn't the same size, but there's not that much going under. So these tools are available on Amazon. There's a whole bunch of them. I've just ordered some more of the French curves, and there's ovals, and it's just wonderful because you can make a circle without trying to do it by hand or tracing it. Even these you may want to do on the pattern. You may want to do them yourself if you have something like this. This happens to be a Staedtler, and it's called a combo circle template. But there are other brands too. They're all plastic, and they go from like $7. I think this one was $14, or you can get 9 of them for $8. It just depends on how much you think you might use it. But for any patterns with circles on it, this would be what you needed. Okay, thanks bunch. Bye-bye.